Hello. How are you? We're sitting here all nice and comfy and cozy with our kitten. If you can, let's see. This is the D. Louise book series. There's no theme music. Welcome, KRISTINA. This is where we read books and talk about books. There's no special effects going on here. There's no theme music. None of that fancy smanchy stuff going on here. What you see is what you get. Um, if the audio does go on my video, please alert Best Buy and Hewlett Packard. They both have done extensive diagnostics of this computer and both claim it's perfectly fine. So if you've watched the audio videos in the past and you've seen my audio go, you know they're wrong. Please check out my Star Trek Next Generation recaps on Friday. Please also check out my If Thens. On Fridays, we did homicides, we did suspense, we did thrillers. We're getting into the Halloween mood here. We did private investigators, we did black authors. Please check that out. We did Native American, Tony Hillerman group. We did witches, we did vampires, we did werewolves, we did all those. And please check out Flashback Monday, where we talk about all my favorite books, all the books in my favorite magazine. Try to hit historical, romance, contemporary romance, paranormal, harlequins, inspirational, mainstream fiction, all of it. And we are finishing J.R. Ward's Black Dagger Brotherhood. We are finishing James Patterson's Alex Cross series. And we are into... What did I do with the book? Book 4 of the C.S. Harris St. Cyr series. This is book 4. There's really not too many characters to keep track of, so it's a good, easy read. It's a quick read. It's an enjoyable read. There's a good mystery going on. You have Sebastian, who is currently estranged from his father due to his father's machinations. Shoot, just a second here.
I need to clean this carpet for the holiday.
Oh, well. So, Sebastian and his father are estranged because of the incidents that happened in the last book. And his father is letting him believe something that isn't true, and he's not going to tell Sebastian for a while. It was discovered that the woman that Sebastian was dating and wanted to marry on several occasions and had been sleeping with for years was his father's daughter. And you were thinking about the fact that he had been sleeping with his half sister for like years, massive years. And then, because you're like, oh my God, right? And Sebastian gets mad at his father, and he blames his father, and his father let him think all it, and he has to break up with Kat, and she marries a gay guy just for, just for safety reasons. They're being each other's beard. And in the end, it's implied between a discussion between Amanda, Sebastian's sister, and Hendon, his father, that while Kat is his physical daughter from an affair outside of marriage, Sebastian is not his physical son. It's implied. It's never actually stated, but it's implied. But Sebastian doesn't know that. He's the last Hendon had 4 sons, and he's the last surviving son. So he's made him, Sebastian, his heir. So that's where but Sebastian is currently estranged from his father, and he's not talking to his father because of the stuff that happened in the last book. And all of his relatives are trying. So you have Sebastian, Lord Devlin, I call him Sebastian. We have Kat, who's main in the background now. She's not as prominent as she used to be. Lord Charles Jarvis, who is very important and will be spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, Sebastian's future father-in-law. And then we have Hero, his future wife, but she's 25, he's 28. She is a go-getter. She's like her father. Her father always wishes she was a boy. She would have been absolutely fantastic if she had been a boy. She has great intuition. She's great at everything she does, and it would have been perfect if she had been a boy, but she's not. So, we start off with, also, I wanted to mention, I have my notes here. C. Hazaris is very, very, very good at giving you teensy-weensy hints or teensy-weensy information to the puzzle. Sebastian will talk to person A and he'll get a snippet, and then he'll talk to B and get another snippet, and maybe talk to C and get another snippet, and then he goes back to A and A gives him a little extra, and then B gives him a little extra, and then C gives him a little extra, and it's just like little itsy bitsy little pieces of information. So this is book 4 in this series, and Jarvis is doing a story, Hero. That's Charles Jarvis's daughter, Hero. Is doing a story on prostitution, and she is at Magdalena House. It's a refugee house. It's where women can go to stay who have been prostitutes. It's a safe place for them to stay, and they can recover there and stay there until they're ready to do for themselves out in the real world, like a halfway house type situation. So Hero is there, and she's interviewing Rose, supposedly Rose. Turns out later on her name isn't. The name thing drove me bonkers. It was like Rose, a.k.a. Rachel, Rose, a.k.a. this, Helen, a.k.a. this. It was driving me crazy. But she says she's 18. Later turns out she may be a little younger than that. But she's at Magdalena House. It's a refuge house run by a society, Friends for Women, who wish to leave prostitution. Hero was talking with Rose when they hear a commotion outside, and they hear that men have entered the house. And Hero tries to help Rose escape. She's at Rose at this point. And she's almost successful until Rose is shot on the way out, and she dies in Hero's arms, and Hero feels responsible, and she's determined to get to the bottom of this situation. So she goes to Devlin, Sebastian, and tells him about what happens. She tells him that she was at Magdalena House near Covent Garden when men attacked women and set fire to the house. They murdered all the women in the house first, and then they set fire to the house to cover up the murders. But Paul Gibson, our resident coroner, is able to determine that all of the people were killed prior to the fire. And there's a Bow Street runner, and apparently Hero's father, Charles Jarvis, has told them to not investigate this situation at all. Then there's another person here, unknowns to us at this juncture, who also doesn't want the situation investigated, and they are killing off any potential witnesses in the process. So we have to deal with Sir William Headley for a while and his machinations, and Sebastian has Paul Gibson examine a few of them before Bow Street says no, they don't want this done. They were all died by the fire, and when they haven't died by the fire, they were all murdered previously. So Lord Jarvis meets with the Right Honourable Spencer Perceval. He's Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. They discuss the reports from Yorkshire about the local people setting fires and damaging the machines there. After he leaves, Colonel Epsom Smith comes in and tells Jarvis to find out the identity of the people that were killed in the Magdalena House. And he wants it all swept under the rug. He doesn't want it investigated at all. So Hero arrives at the crime scene, and she's there with Paul Gibson and Sebastian when Bow Street shows up and gives their hoity-toity ways, and Hero becomes a potential victim because she's a potential witness, and she's They attempted to kill her several times too. So I don't know why I said to read this page, so I'm going to read this page. Um, Do you believe in justice? An abstract concept, yes, although I fear there is little true justice in the world. She nodded toward the blackened ruins of Magdalena House. In life, our society failed Rose, failed all these women. I don't want to fail them in death. You are not responsible for society. Yes, I am. We all are, each in our small way. She turned to fix him with a direct gaze. Will you come with me to Handstown? He started to say no, but as he looked into her fierce gray eyes, he realized that a part of her actually wanted him to say no, because it would give her an excuse to walk away from all this, from the fear and from the horror that was that night. Turning, he watched the workman swing the body of the young fair-headed girl into the back of the dray, and in that moment he wasn't thinking about Lord Jarvis or Hero Jarvis. He was thinking about the life that the child would never live and the men who had taken it from her. So he decides to go with her and to help her with the investigation from that moment forward. They do talk to many potential witnesses. Sebastian questions the streets, and one woman, most of them say they didn't see anything. One woman says, yeah, there was a bunch of guys walking around all day, browsing, never purchasing anything. So that was as close as he got to that. Hero has her own way. She offers an award for information leading to, and she does get some information. And Sebastian is, amazed at her tenacity and how, she risked her life to get this information and stuff like that. So the more they start investigating, and the more they find out that Rose was actually named Rachel, and that she was running from something, that her family knew where she was. Her father knew where she was, and her brother knew where she was. And they tried to get her out of there, and she refused to leave. She wanted to stay in the brothel. And that this other guy offered to pay her to get out of the brothel because he thought she had debts. And so they're looking at the brothel owner, they're looking at this other guy, they're looking at the family. They've got all these different suspects. So they go through all that, and Sebastian meets with several different people, and it's discovered that the girl's family also has a background. The father has a background that he doesn't want known. Apparently, he's one of those that has horrible, horrible, horrible personal habits. That will all be revealed in the book. So we have a bunch of suspects and stuff like that, and I won't reveal the whodunit, but there's going to be consequences to Sebastian, and I don't know why Lord Jarvis is going to find out at some point. Hero doesn't tell him, and he knows she's not telling him all of it, but he doesn't pursue it later. This is just something of C.S. Harris way, where you ask a question and you get a partial answer. You don't get the full answer. You get enough to satisfy, but you don't get the full answer. Because Sebastian and Hero got really, really close in one of those almost death experiences. So there's going to be repercussions from that. So it's a really good book. There's a list of murder suspects. There's a main plot behind it. And I've always said that I don't like that evil wins, but most of the time evil does win. If someone wants to kill you, they will kill you. It's what happens to them afterwards. If they get jailed, if they get killed themselves. But most of the time, if someone is screwed up enough to attempt, it's really scary. It is really, really scary what's going on in this world. And everybody has the right to protect themselves. I don't think they need a machine gun, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, we're talking St. Cyr here. So there's a big plot. There's several plots in this book. There's the main killings of the 4 women at the Magdalena house. Then you have Rachel's real past and what's going on in her family's life. So that's like a second plot. And then you have Lord Jarvis's plot, and there's another plot behind that Jarvis didn't know about, and he helped implement, but he didn't know that he was helping to implement it. So there's another big, huge plot behind that. So anyways, if you could please hit the like and subscribe and read along with me as we go through this series, I'd really appreciate that. And have a good day.